Welcome everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. And today we are going to explore the incredible story of the 1982 D1 cent USA coin, a penny that at first glance may seem ordinary and almost worthless because it carries a face value of just 1 cent. But in reality, under the right circumstances and with the right type of errors and mistakes, this coin has been known to reach values as high as $200,000. Shocking collectors and investors alike. And in this long journey, we are going to break down every detail, every possibility, every mistake that makes this coin such a treasure. So stay tuned, because by the time you finish hearing this, you will know exactly why the 1982 D penny has earned a reputation as one of the most valuable Lincoln cents of modern times. And it all begins with the year 1982 itself, which was a historic turning point for U.S. coinage because the United States Mint changed the composition of the penny during that year, moving from the traditional copper-based planchets to cheaper zinc-based planchets due to rising copper prices. And that decision created an extraordinary range of varieties, mistakes, and transitional errors that still puzzle collectors today. Since 1982, pennies exist in both copper and zinc compositions. And even within those groups there are small date and large date varieties, making this one of the most complicated years in Lincoln cent history. And when you add in a mint mark like the Denver D, you open the door to an incredible set of rare combinations and minting errors. Now let us dive deeper into the errors and possibilities that make the 1982 D penny capable of commanding such astronomical values, because not every coin from this year is worth big money. Most are still circulating with values of just a cent, but when you find the rare transitional error, the wrong planchet, the double die obverse, the misstrike, or the rare off-metal strike, suddenly that penny transforms into a life-changing discovery. So let's start with the most famous story, the 1982 D small date copper penny, which is considered one of the most significant rarities in the entire Lincoln cent series. Because by 1982 the Denver Mint was supposed to strike pennies primarily on zinc planchets weighing about 2.5 grams. But a few copper planchets weighing 3.1 grams accidentally slipped through the presses and were struck with the small date design, and this rare combination is almost never found, with very few known to exist, and collectors pay staggering amounts when one surfaces because it is a true transitional error showing how the mint switched metals but did not fully control the process. And this alone has pushed values to the six-figure range. But it does not stop there, because other 1982 D errors also exist and contribute to the mystique of this coin, such as double die obverse examples where the date, mint mark, or letters like Liberty and In God We Trust appear doubled under magnification, giving a dramatic effect that error collectors love, and depending on how strong the doubling is, values can climb into tens of thousands. And when you combine doubling with the rare copper composition, you get a coin that can blow past the $200,000 mark in auctions. Then we have off-center strikes where the coin was not properly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design missing. And while many off-center strikes are relatively common and only bring modest premiums, those that are extreme with more than 50% off-center but still showing the full date and mint mark can be extremely valuable, especially for a key transitional year like 1982. Then you also find broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks which might not be worth six figures individually, but when paired with the right metal composition can skyrocket in desirability. And that is the magic of the 1982 D penny. It is a perfect storm of minting history, transitional chaos, and error potential, and collectors from all around the world hunt relentlessly for these coins, weighing them, measuring them, examining them under microscopes, hoping to stumble upon that elusive treasure. Now, to understand why this coin is worth $200,000, we must talk about rarity and demand. Because value in the coin market is driven by scarcity and the intensity of collectors willing to pay for a piece of history. And the 1982 D small date copper penny is one of those coins where demand is insatiable and supply is virtually non-existent, with very few known examples certified by grading services like PCGS and NGC. And every time one hits the market, it sparks a bidding war among top collectors, investors, and even museums. And when demand outpaces supply at such an extreme level, you get astronomical prices. And that is why a coin with a face value of 1 cent can be worth $200,000. Now think about the everyday circulation. Millions of people handle pennies every day without ever realizing they might be holding a fortune, and that possibility keeps the excitement alive, because anyone could be the next lucky finder of a 1982 D copper small date, or another dramatic error from that year, and that potential fuels endless searches through bank rolls, jars of change, and estate collections. And the stories of ordinary people discovering life-changing coins in their pocket change are what make this hobby so thrilling. Now beyond the transitional composition era, other factors can make a 1982 D penny valuable, such as pristine condition, because high-grade examples with full red luster, sharp details, and nowhere can bring thousands even without major errors. But when you have a high-grade error coin, the price jumps exponentially, and collectors are always chasing the highest graded specimens known, because rarity plus condition equals ultimate desirability. And in the coin market, this formula has held true for centuries. Furthermore, the Denver Mint itself adds another layer of intrigue because the D Mint mark has historically been associated with certain rarities and mistakes, and 1982 was no exception, as Denver struck billions of pennies but only a tiny fraction show the rare transitional errors, making them needles in a haystack, and that is why professional coin graders and experts spend countless hours authenticating and certifying them. Because the difference between a regular zinc penny worth 1 cent and a copper small date worth $200,000 is not something the naked eye can always confirm, and this is where precision tools, scales, and knowledge become essential. Now imagine the possibilities. Perhaps some coins exist that have yet to be discovered, perhaps a few experimental strikes or test planchets were produced that ended up in circulation, and if one surfaces it could shatter price records. Because every time a new discovery is made in the coin world, it reignites interest and pushes values higher, and the 1982 D penny continues to be one of the most talked about coins because of this very potential. So if you are listening to this and thinking about your own collection or the coins in your change, take the time to check them carefully, weigh them, look for small versus large date differences, and keep an eye out for doubling, off-center strikes, and other anomalies, because you never know. You might be holding a treasure worth hundreds of thousands. And that is the beauty of coin collecting. It combines history, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt into one of the most rewarding hobbies. And the story of the 1982 D penny proves that even the smallest coin in our currency can carry unimaginable value when struck with the right set of mistakes and preserved through time. So now that you understand why this coin is so valuable, why it has reached $200,000, and why collectors will stop at nothing to acquire it, you can appreciate the excitement and passion that drives people to search through countless coins, because at the end of the day, the 1982 D penny is not just a piece of metal, it is a piece of history, a symbol of transition, and a reminder that extraordinary treasures can hide in the most ordinary places. And as long as people keep looking, the legend of the 1982 D penny will continue to grow, inspiring new generations of collectors and keeping the thrill of discovery alive forever.